Gil Martin here. The Locked On road to the NHL trade deadline continues. The Anaheim Ducks have made a move. They send Dmitry Kulikov to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for Brock McGinn and a third-round pick. Joining us right now, JD Hernandez of Locked On Anaheim Ducks. And JD, your thoughts on this deal? What does it do for the Ducks?
First off, we've been waiting for this deal with Kulikov because he was held out of the lineup in Wednesday's loss to the Washington Capitals. So we knew that was going to happen, and we know that there's going to be a Klingberg trade probably going to happen at the last minute. Literally the last minute, I think is going to happen. But as far as this Kulikov trade is concerned, the Ducks are clear sellers here. This is kind of a salary dump. We knew this was going to happen, and this is a familiar team to do trades with because the Ducks are familiar with the Pittsburgh Penguins. For those that don't remember, the Ducks and Pens made a trade in last year's deadline, sending off Rickard Rakell for Dominic Simone, Zach Aston-Reese, Callie Klang, and a pick which turned out to be Tristan Luneau. I think the Penguins got a pretty good deal on that. This trade, Kulikov has been, are you ready for this, Gil? Kulikov has been on the top line at times this season because the Ducks defense has been decimated over the past year. Losing a key player in Josh Manson last season to the Avalanche, losing Hampus Lindholm to the Boston Bruins, who, by the way, Brad Marchand called one of the best defensemen in the league. And if you watch Locked On Bruins, Brad Marchand said that was the best trade the Bruins have made in the recent past, the last few years. So to lose Lindholm and Manson, the blue line was already down. Then you lose Jamie Drysdale for the season, and it gets even worse. Added to that Klingberg had gotten off to a slow start this season. I mean, glacially slow start. And Klingberg goes from the top line down to the second, to the third, now back up to line number 2. So who else does that leave? Shattenkirk's been struggling, so I guess that leaves Dmitry Kulikov. And I guess the time was pretty good for this because when the Ducks did get Kulikov, that was for a 4th-round pick. Now they get a third, or not a 4th round, but, they got Kulikov. And then all of a sudden, he gets dealt for a third and a player, which is an expiring contract. So all in all, not a bad trade for the Ducks as far as asset management is concerned. It's fine. It's a fine trade.
As far as Brock McGinn goes, yes, an expiring contract. How do you see him fitting in this season? And is there a chance they try to re-sign him, or is this just, we'll take him off your hands and we'll move forward?
This is totally taking him off their hands because Brock McGinn has been not mired, but he's been with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins throughout the season. And in fact, I think he's going to be a little bit disgruntled because Brock McGinn was set to play in the outdoor classic tomorrow between the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and the Cleveland Monsters. That was supposed to be a big deal, and on a recent interview, Brock McGinn was even excited about playing the outdoor game in Cleveland, and now he gets plucked from that to Anaheim or San Diego. Either way, neither team is making the playoffs, neither team is making any noise, and he goes from a situation where he could help out a team for a possible playoff run. And I know we're going AHL talk here, but you had a chance to possibly be up with Pittsburgh or with Wilkes-Barre Scranton, who's fighting for a playoff spot, and now all of a sudden you're with the Ducks. He's going to be a little bit disgruntled because any player looks forward to an outdoor game. But what Brock McGinn brings to the table, he's been pretty solid this season for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. I think he could bring just some depth to the Ducks. That's about it. I mean, Brock McGinn could help in the bottom 6. He's 29 years old. Just the bottom 6 guy that they could help with, and it's a salary eat because the Ducks have all the cap space in the world right now. I mean, they're barely above the cap floor again.
Well, that should make for an interesting off season for the Anaheim Ducks, assuming they want to use some of that money. But we will keep you posted on that. Be sure to check out Locked On Anaheim Ducks for more on this and any other moves made by the Ducks. And keep it dialed into Locked On NHL all along the road to the NHL trade deadline. This is the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.